Okay, I've never played Territory Idle before. If you haven't watched me play an idle game before, the way I do these is I'm playing like 4 or 5 idle games at the same time, and then I tab between them every so often when I run out of stuff to do and come back to it and check to see what happened after I was idled for a while. So if you're watching in the future on YouTube, you're going to see a jump clip, so you can watch that live split timer to see when it jumps ahead to know how much time I idled. But I don't know anything about Territory Idle other than it's an idle game. It looks like I have a bunch of build buttons. Costs wheat. Okay. Hire a worker. Also costs wheat. And now I'm getting wheat per second. Okay, got it. And it costs increasingly more wheat, but I only have set amount of field space to work with. Do this until I get to like 10 wheat per second and then maybe build some new fields on the sides. Okay, so I can make a forest camp. Costs 500 wheat, 500 wood, but I need to find a way to get wood in the first place. Costs amber, amber shop. Amber is our prestiging system. Oh no, it's a thing you can buy with money. Okay. So if I need wood to be able to make a forest camp, how do I ever get wood to start with, right? I guess we can turn all of these into wheat fields for now. You filled all the tiles, now you can abdicate. You'll get the gold for abdication. I suggest you abdicate when you can get 12 or more gold. Okay. The, like, super indie idle games that just have developer notes in them that are like, this is a good number to go by. It's like, all right. Maybe like 13,500 is a good guideline. Does this tell me about fill all tiles, you'll be able to abdicate. Abdication gives you gold. You can buy new tiles, wood, and wheat for gold. Okay. So this is a game about like abdicating constantly. I think I understand. So like even just to start playing the game, you have to go in the New Game Plus, which is kind of funny actually. I feel like that's the next thing to parody about idle games is to be like, isn't it so silly that they're like so based on New Game Plus? What if you had a New Game Plus and your first 5 minutes of playing the game? It's kind of what idle loops is, I guess. So when I abdicate, renounce the throne and get compensation. Compensation depends on income. Okay, so my income is 80 total wheat per second, which is what's governing that. Don't wait too long. So I am getting 12 or more gold, so now is probably the time to abdicate. I guess I'll do 100. Why not? It's achievable. Having to wait the hiring time is pretty funny. Yeah. So we actually need to go a little bit longer to get to 12. So 12 might be enough to get enough wood to finally start accruing wood as well. Yeah, maybe. Or if it's all raw materials, which is kind of interesting if it's based on the raw calculation. Because then, like, you care about certain materials for how quickly they speed other things up, I guess. Almost. All right, so now we can abdicate, get the 12 gold. Yes. So we want to buy some wood. So we want to build a forest camp, which requires at least... That's not enough. Well, I guess I can do... Okay. And I always start with some wheat. Price increases 10 times with each person. Tiles are permanent. You'll keep new tiles after the next abdication. That seems pretty important. It's kind of cool, though. I like that. Oh, and that generated amber, which I can spend to jump ahead time, permanent upgrades, wheat production, permanent. Okay, that's kind of cool. I understand what we're doing here. Then it's going to cost 10 gold to do that again. All right. No reason to just, like, buy wheat at this point if I can just wait long enough to get some of it. Forest camp costs 500. Probably do 3 wheat fields and 2 forest camps, I guess. Bonus will be lost after abdication, so you basically never want to take those until you're, like, in the super late game, I presume. Move the view by holding the right mouse button. Okay. It doesn't actually prompt me to abdicate for some amount of time. Okay, we got our first forest camp. Hire a logger. Costs wheat still. Okay, so that's interesting. Extremely cheap. Yeah, so I wonder if you can, like, zoom out and get, you know, arbitrarily many tiles at some point, right? The tile idea is kind of cool. I haven't seen anything like that before. I guess I could wait and get a farm. Improves wheat fields. It's pretty achievable, actually. I guess the forest camp is also different from wheat fields in that it's much cheaper and faster to hire loggers than it is to hire more wheat workers. So there's breaks the degeneracy a little bit. Games like this sometimes put you in a mode where you, like, need to be able to intuit the difference between investing and getting more production versus saving up for the next big upgrade, and I feel like it's almost impossible to do that for all kinds of different idle games, which all have very different rules at how much it costs to buy a worker, right? Versus, so, like, how many workers should I go to until I wait to just buy the farm is the problem that I'm trying to solve, right? Simply prognosticate how good the farm is. Yeah. You kind of want to see what 10,000 wood does for us. The permanent upgrades are probably the only thing I'm ever going to care about here. And it's probably going to be just the production bonuses we're going to save up for. $60 wheat per second. Wood's already got an advantage here. I wonder if generally they're, like, anticipating that you're gonna... I know it's 10 gold for another tile. They're anticipating that you're just going to focus on wood this run, and then next run... I guess you only ever start with wheat, so you have to have some amount of your gold. 10 of your gold is always spent on bootstrapping forests. Oh, and then we eventually need 100 gold to be able to do a quarry. Okay. I think I can kind of, like, foresee the order in which they want me to do things here. Here it's like, I don't want to wait too long on this screen, but it's like I've already waited so long that I should have been buying them immediately if I was going to buy them at all, you know what I mean? I don't know that I'm even going to have anything to spend wood on after buying the farm, right? Excess wood... Unless if wood consumes, or farms consume wood, which is possible. We'll find out in a few minutes. 1,000, 2, okay, so like a minute and a half or so. Talk amongst yourselves. This is where I would tab out, but like I feel like I haven't gotten enough interesting offline progression here to tab out of this game yet. I think of the 4 idle games we're playing today, we're doing Realm Grinder, which is obviously really well established, Your Chronicle, Idling to Rule the Gods, and Territory Idle. I think Your Chronicle is the most interesting, given that Realm Grinder is obviously really popular and really impressive, but we've already seen it a lot. You can do it, game, any second now. 20 seconds now, more like. I guess, I don't know if the abdicate button, like, smartly comes back after a while. Get tiles on one continent. Continents? Okay, that's fun. Oh, okay, so clicking these gives me the reward permanently if I can get those. Wishlist my game and get 10 amber. Never. Hire a farmer, costs 6,000 wheat. And these guys... Oh, I see. Right, you only abdicate once you fill every tile. They did tell me that before. That's true. But I needed to know what farming actually specifically did here. So we'll let this get to 6,000. I love how, like, one farmer is 6,000 wheat. I feel like a lot of my dopamine from games like this isn't from seeing number go up. It's like seeing what the next regime of play is. You know what I mean? Like I can read that it says a farm enhances your wheat fields, but I don't actually know what any of the numbers are. So like I get satisfaction, I get catharsis from like actually unlocking the farm and then hiring my first worker. Like, ah, that was nice. Yeah, it looks like wood is just dead then. Maybe I need it for something after unlocking the quarry. We'll hire one of these guys, see what it does, and then maybe I'll tab out and let this one run for a bit before abdicating. Yeah, 100%. I like Melvor for that reason. Melvor is really good at, like, trickling new gameplay loop stuff, right? +1 wheat from worker on wheat fields. So that's pretty huge. I feel like I probably did this for this number of tiles. This is the way to have done it. Using unspent gold gets lost. I wonder why they said 12 and not 11. I get them saying 10, right? Because it's enough to buy enough wood to be able to buy a forest camp, but... Okay, we're up to 225. Give me 26 gold. I know I need at least 10 for a tile. I might want to get 2 tiles on the next abdication, right? This doesn't care about it. I guess this game has the design space to care about adjacency. But it doesn't for farmers. Cost 3 ambers to wipe a tile. I mean, I guess I could do that, right? I'm saving my amber for permanent stuff, but I could get another wheat field here, I guess. At some point it becomes more effective to start hiring these guys again, right? Oh, sure. Since Abdicate is based on income of both things, it looks like it does just add them together. So 375 plus 43. Yeah. These guys are taking quite a bit longer to hire now. And now I'm having to do the weird math of like, is it more effective to wait for a farm or is it more effective to just start spamming hiring workers? At some point, it crosses over, right? And it's just like vibes to figure out which one it is. Because I guess at some point I'll be making so much wheat per second that I can just spam click hire loggers since the hiring time is so fast, is what you're saying, just to squeeze out a little bit more money for abdication. I'll do it when I have like 112 gold, and then I'll be able to get 2 tiles, and then maybe let it idle after that. It's interesting that, like, I think this game, at least I don't have anything yet that really makes me want to idle. Like, I think you want to play this game attentively, right? Because, like, accrued resources don't do you very much since you have to wait a cooldown to spend them. Maybe eventually something really significantly cuts the hiring time down, so that's not true anymore. How much gold did it say you needed to build a quarry? I should have written it down. They might also want to have a quarry on the next run. 100? Okay, that's pretty expensive. That's probably not happening. Yeah, I guess it could. Is that more interesting than 2 tiles? I could wait till I have 200 gold. Then I can do 100 for a quarry, 10 for a tile, 100 for a tile. Yeah. But then I feel like I'm going to be staring at the screen forever, so... Start dumping into loggers. Although now their additional like production is like nothing compared to the wheat fields. Yeah. I could just go now, I guess. But I've already kind of hit the point where progress is slowed down significantly on the farm. It's probably just better to just abdicate now. Unless if I only get 1 tile and spend the rest of it on getting the quarry just to see what it does. That's a new regime of information, right? That's probably the better. And I already know what a new tile means. It just means this, but faster, which is the thing I don't really give a fuck about. Actually, no, I can get there relatively quickly because I guess each time I'm doing that, it's making each individual worker better. So these multiply each other more than I thought it did. Just keep doing like a round of workers and then a farm until we get there. I guess part of it is like you don't know the scaling rate for the cost of hiring new farms, right? Like it seems like it's pretty kind at the beginning and then it gets really crazy. I guess maybe the idea is like so long as you're able to immediately click it, you probably can afford to immediately click it. Yeah, it looks like I can just spam click these and still have enough to outpace the spending and get enough to get another farm. I just keep spam clicking hire a worker. Almost a 220. $40 workers per field. A farmer would have to cost 243K before hiring workers is better than hiring farmers. Is that accounting for the hiring time? Okay. Abdicate. Yes. Okay. Let's buy a tile here, I guess. Let's buy our wood before I forget. Buy another tile. Okay. Get wheat fields up and running. And I'll probably swap off of it after let this run until the next abdication. But I don't think accruing the resources really I guess you can build the farms pretty fast. I guess I know I'm going to want at least one more wheat field. It's probably going to be 3 wheat fields, a farm, maybe 4 wheat fields, a farm, forest camp, and a quarry. Quarry's 30,000 wood. So you mean like maybe we needed to see what it's going to unlock so I could use it in this abdication? Okay. I need to see what it is, I guess. I could spend, it's like 3 amber to clear a tile, which isn't amazing, but I could deal with it if I had to. Yeah. You have to find out. I'll just destroy a wheat field, I guess. An element's kind of interesting, though. 10,000 wheat. Yeah, imagine this game really like depends on getting the math to feel good. Like the number of idle games where the math feels amazing is too damn low. Like you have to be kind of a math nerd to want to make a game like this. So I feel like you want to get the game feel somewhere where it all feels natural, and you don't have to have kind of an art like a awkward. You should abdicate with 12 gold. At least this one I think does a better job than that Idling to Rule the Gods game of making it clear like I can look at it and be like, okay, so I want to have at least 10 gold to get enough wood to buy a forest camp. Like that's doable math. It's not weird, inscrutable, imagining the end game math. Great. I feel like part of the magic of making a good idle game is not getting too excited about like what the game's going to be like in 100 hours. You know what I mean? And trying to like get the player there as soon as possible. Like try to make your beginning experience as interesting as you can. It's gonna wait them in here. Once I get a single farm, everything like blows up in terms of speed. And then I have to wait a while to get the 30,000 wood anyway. I'll probably just eat the amber cost to kill one of these wheat fields, but maybe it'll be a net time save, because that's another thing you have to be able to calculate in your head, I guess. Like, what's the rate at which I earn amber? Amber, it seems like you mostly get from achievements and also from building everything in a run. I'll have double hero stats for the next battle. Starting with 1,000 wheat, wood, and stone at the beginning of every game sounds like it could be pretty convenient. So you can kind of skip this phase every time. Yeah, it is a little worrisome. Makes me not want to spend it on anything other than permanent upgrades, right? I mean, maybe there's a building at some point that you unlock that generates amber very slowly, right? Gotta pump this up a bit anyway, just to make sure we can build the quarry. A farm. $30,000 wood's a lot, so I guess this has to be like a learning run where I figure out what stone does so I can make... Well, I guess the problem is I can't even see what I can build with the stone, right? Because I need to have an empty field to even like look at it. It's kind of fucked up. I do like... I said that the main thing I'm interested in is seeing the like new gameplay regimes of getting something new you haven't seen before, but I do like these sudden, you know, exponential leap forwards like I'm about to get from buying this single farmer and to double my production and make it really inexpensive to get my next farm. 35,400 hours idling. It's funny. I'm gonna go ham on forest camps when I get a decent amount of farmers running here. Guess this is the one trick that tends to work in idle games where it's like if it's so cheap that it is like you don't even notice the cost of doing it, you should probably keep buying that thing, right? It still is true most of the time, I feel like. So that's probably until these cost like 1,000 wheat. So as long as that doesn't cost 1,000, we can dump on it, I think. Okay, now it's 1,000. Let's get these to cost 1,000. To be fair, isn't that like worse though? Like if it's gotten a lot of updates and it's like even more inscrutable, especially the beginning of the game. Okay. I'm kind of just bottlenecked by wood here. I don't think it would ever make sense to build a second forest camp with the current setup. Maybe the heuristic is like, if I can buy it, if the cost is less than what I'm accruing per second, I should just go ahead and buy it, right? There, I go ahead and get a forest camp. Now it's more expensive, so I can wait for a farmer. Else do farmers. Once we see what quarry is, and I maybe make the decision about spending the amber. I do have some new stuff here. Yeah, I kind of would like it. I mean, I guess I like that the achievements are permanent, but it would be nice if you kept getting amber for each new ascension, right? Based on completion of those, so you were guaranteed to get, even if it's a very small amount, and then recalibrate the amber shop so it doesn't feel like it's like a non-renewable resource, because it makes spending resources to clear a tile feel really bad. I don't think that's intended to feel that bad. So within my heuristic, just barely outside of it, it's fine. Okay, we're 2/3 of the way there on wood. And the wheat part's going to be completely... Oh, it's not even included. It's just gold. Okay. So that start with... What's the... How much do you start with? 1,000. Okay. The workers do get pretty expensive over time, it seems like. Interesting, like loggers are like dirt cheap early on and then get much more expensive. I guess, well, they're still a lot cheaper than the wheat field workers, okay. It kind of feels bad that once I spend my wood, though, I don't have any other kind of like constant upkeep to spend it on. I guess it's a way to like force me to abdicate, so maybe that doesn't feel bad because you should be abdicating a lot. You would be having a bad time with this game if you didn't, I feel like. I feel like I've played precious few idle games that really nail the like balance between active play and idle play. I think a lot of them trend too hard on like really forcing you to play actively all the time. I really like that about Melvor. Melvor seems very focused on like what you choose to idle overnight is this like very precious limited resource that you have, right? And like making decisions about what you choose to idle overnight is kind of the main decision that you make in Melvor. And yeah, playing it actively, there's a lot you can do. You can focus on like farming for specific drops or whatever. Retro, you said to be fair 2 messages ago, and you said I mean in the next message. I just don't know if you notice. Okay, quarry, here we go. No worries. 15,000 wheat. You got a stone. Now you can build stone buildings, but you will need a free tile for this. Yeah, no kidding. All right, so I guess we kill one of the wheat fields here, which is painful, but we got to see what it does, right? Okay, just absorb it. It's fine. Temple. It's 5,000 wood, which we can reach. Rituals speed up and automate hiring. Okay, so we're doing the temple. Got it. Lesson learned. Actually, that seems great for something to leave on, because if it can automate hiring, then that's actually increasing my... then I'll tab out of the game, because then I'll come back and be able to abdicate for more than I would have if I just... Because right now, it's like I should only be playing it actively, right? $5,000 stone's going to be kind of a bitch if I don't start focusing on that like right now. But I guess I wish there was a way to like see what the build costs are without needing to have a clear field, because now I wish I still had the wheat field and like cleared it when I was ready to build the temple. Let me start a text file for this game. Let me just write down these costs so I don't repeat this problem in the future. This is territory idle. So it's temple, 5,000 wood, 5,000 stone, school, 100k wheat, 100k wood, 100k stone, academy, 10 million stone, not a thing I'm probably gonna have to worry about for a very long time. Cathedral, 300k gold, 15 million stone. got our wood and nothing else to spend wood on, so no reason to really touch that, I guess. Actually, I don't think it's worth really hiring wheat field workers anymore. Probably alternating farms and masons. It sucks that I don't have 4 wheat fields right now. It's pretty painful, actually. Just need to have like a little ghostly, not a real tile over here that I can click to see what the different build costs are without actually having it available to me as a thing I can build on. 5,000 is doable, but it's going to be slow. Wow, this ramps up really fast. Holy shit. I need to wait. It's like 5 minutes until I have enough stone from now. I can wait 5 minutes. Faster if I get some more masons in the intervening period. But then once the temple's built, we'll move on. Yeah, there's also a secondary cost to get the first worker in the building, which you can't see until you buy the building, right? At least that seems to, at least so far, only be wheat. I feel like they could have made the mason cost less wheat and also cost some wood so that the wood isn't just idling, but I don't know. I guess the wood idling is good, like I said, because it forces you to abdicate. Because you don't want to have this like shitty thing accruing that isn't really meaningfully increasing your income. That makes sense, yeah. I think of all the idle games I've played, Melvor has probably been the perfect one from my perspective in terms of like perfectly balancing attentive play versus idle play and not like overly focusing on one or the other. It also made me finally understand the only conditions under which I can tolerate a daily time-gated mechanic are Melvor, where it's like it's a one opportunity cost driven resource, right? Like you can pick one thing to do overnight for a maximum of 24 hours, and what you pick is crazy important. And if you choose to pick something, it's at the explicit exclusion of all of your other choices, right? Under those circumstances, I like dailies. It's just when you're playing RuneScape 3 or whatever, and you've got 70 fucking dailies, right, that aren't in any competition with each other, you should just do them because we're like crystallizing value in them for every minute, hour, day you're not playing the game. Okay, we're getting there. Watch this thing fucking suck. Maybe I'll get an achievement for building it. I feel really bad wasting that 3 amber, but I needed to see what it was. I guess I could have just abdicated. That also would have kind of felt like a waste. Oh, man. Do idle game developers have some kind of responsibility as designers? Do they have any onus to watch for things in their game that feel really bad and like design around them? Because there are some games where it's like, well, you're feeling bad is like, that's part of the play experience, right? The fact that, you know, it sucks to trudge through the poison swamp in Dark Souls is like part of the joy of Dark Souls at the end of the day. It's part of what makes that game good. Train a monk. +1 faith per second. Oh, but now I have a new thing. Okay, hold on. Perform a ritual. After each ritual, the cost of ritual increases. +1 monk every 15 seconds during the ritual. Stone production. So is this like an active thing? Maybe I didn't understand how this was working. Hiring speed for workers. So these rituals are realm grinder spells. Okay. I thought it meant like just now I could let this run and then tab off the game and be fine, but I don't think that's the case. I guess the game is in a more interesting state at this point, and I think re-abdicating is not the right strategy, because if I let it sit for a bit... What's this PP? Perform previous ritual for 200 faith. Every time I do the same ritual, it's more expensive, though, right? Cost of that ritual increases. I feel like you got to do the monk one first, right? Because those are just like permanent monk increases. Yeah, exactly, Tyrannon. And like every RS3 daily is accruing value because like in order to make it competitive with everything else you can do in RuneScape 3, the rewards need to be outsized because it's time gated compared to the stuff that you can do actively. You can run multiple rituals at the same time. Oh, that's weird. I don't know if I like the kind of fell math the game is asking me to do to figure out the right order in which to do these things, to be honest. So we try to do that. Making the rituals cost more every time is kind of a weird twist on the way spells work in Realm Grinder. The boss of this game is Dire Math. Yeah. I kind of was just hoping that the auto hiring would just be a new ability that I unlocked as a consequence of getting a temple, but that doesn't really seem to be how that works, sadly. No, I don't regret playing it or anything, but it is interesting to think about, like, why does it have all these choices that, like, create anti-joy? It's not just sadness, it's like it's a choice that if you have joy in your pool, it gets deleted. Is what happened with having to spend those 3 amber to clear this tile. Yeah, I guess at this point we just do Pantheons, which are going to require just letting it run for a long time, so... I'll grab one more monk, and then we'll tab off this and see what it looks like when I come back. Okay, this has been running forever, and I have 89,000 faith, so maybe I can actually do something cool. I guess we don't want to abdicate. We want to actually spend the ridiculous resources that we've accrued on something. So we've got 1 wheat per worker, hiring speed for workers, 1 wood per worker. Forest camp doesn't require wood to be built. +3 wood from a logger for each temple. +3 faiths from a monk for each forest. Prey doesn't require gold to be built. Doubles farms effect. Pantheon of fat chickens, that's funny. Okay, not for this run, we don't want that. I think we take Pantheon of fat chickens. And then we dump into farms here and try to get our amount of stuff built as ridiculous as possible and then reset probably. And I guess I can still do choose a religion that your people profess. 1 million faith is required but doesn't get spent. So you were saying something last time we swapped off this game, Ravadan, about it's like there's something I can do with the ritual that affects abdicating or something. What was it? Create heritage. Pantheon of fat chickens. Oh, that's cool, but it costs 500 gold. Fuck. Okay, we really want that for next time. That's important. Let me write that down. 500 gold, restart with current Pantheon in effect, but no abdication gold. It's probably going to be important to make progress later at a reasonable pace. Every time you ritual, so you may as well like ritual as much as possible. Now, does that increase if I do a bunch of rituals all at the same time like this? Or is it each count of rituals? I don't really care about either of these. Okay, so we don't want to do it too much then, I guess, is the idea. Can't abdicate during the ritual. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I can't, right? Because I need 1 million. So I was trying to do it earlier. No worries. Sure, I'm not crazy. Let's see how much I can abdicate for here. 2309 gold. At least that'll like recontextualize the game if I do that the one time. That's a way to quickly spend all my acquired wheat. Farms are too expensive now. And there's no limit to the abdication bonus from count of rituals. Just like try to dump all of my faith, essentially. Oh, I meant to turn on the higher speed as well. Shit, what I did is actually kind of lame. Automate worker hiring seems like maybe it's really good when you have a shitload of tiles to work from, but I don't, so it feels kind of bad now. So we want wheat production and hiring speed. And we really got to dump this faith so I can reset here. Feel so bad about clearing this space for the temple with the amber being limited. And workers are officially expensive enough that I don't think I want the higher speed bonus anymore. Just the wheat production, probably. Costs 5 million wheat for a farm. Where do you see that abdication gets the benefit from doing a count of rituals? I didn't see. Did it say that when I like built the building or something? So bonus for rituals, 100%. It seems pretty crazy. Like, given that wood and stone kind of do nothing for you, for faith to suddenly do a really significant thing is interesting. I guess maybe they're abstracting the benefit of wood and stone into the temple itself, but I'm gonna get to like 52 amber and not be able to get the permanent upgrade that I've been eyeing and be sad. Just keep doing the previous ritual. Okay, then we should be able to reset soon. Try to get one more farmer. Because if it's count of rituals, I want to try to like spend all of the cheap ass rituals every single time though, right? Because I want to maximize that value before I abdicate. And the cheap ass rituals, even if they're like useless, increase the counts. I wish I could just press a button to like do that calculation. I don't actually care what you're going to give me and just dump it, right? Let me go. Oh, I don't think I understood that each... Okay, I thought each of these rituals had an escalating cost. That's not as stupid as I thought it was. Okay. I think it's abdication time. I don't think there's really anything else to do here. I can try to quickly dump 53, 56 gold. Sure. Yes. Okay. Buy a tile. Buy one more tile. Did I like glitch it? I was able to get one for 1,000. What happened to all my gold? I thought I brought way more gold than that. All right, whatever. It's fine. I don't want to buy wheat. I know it increases by 10x, but I thought I had enough to do 2 tiles. I must have miscalculated somewhere. I feel like... So, is this extra gold just, like, useless? I guess I could build multiple... Well, we'll see. So, I need 300k gold for the cathedral. And nothing else really spends gold, right? There's the restart with current Pantheon in effect, but no abdication gold. That should be my objective this run, but that's... I just have a bunch... I have, like, thousands of gold that are getting wasted that I'm not spending on something interesting if I do that. Probably need to have, like, borderline at least what I had previously. So 3 wheat fields. I don't want to just dump the gold into... I guess that, like, bootstraps me for the next run is the idea, but it feels really bad. This game has a game feel problem. I think that's, like, its biggest flaw. It's a lot of stuff that's, like, probably fine. It's probably not a big deal to do it wrong, but holy shit, does it not feel good. Yeah, that sucks. I don't want to do that. I mean, it's probably the right thing to do is just spam click that to quickly bootstrap into the next thing, but... It's, like, not giving you enough wheat to feel like it's, like, adequately bootstrapping you. Yeah, the Pantheon heritage seems to be important, but the numbers are just... they don't feel good. Like, I just want to go back in time and, like, have done my previous abdication slightly longer to have the 500 gold to have paid for the heritage effect in the previous rebirth, right? That would have felt a little bit less terrible. I really don't want to do 2 quarries. Any gold I have on me when I abdicate is destroyed, right? So, like, literally the only thing to spend gold on right now is either bootstrapping wheat and wood or the 500 gold that I have to save to pay for the Pantheon heritage thing, right? There's nothing else that gold can be used for, and I'd just use it or lose it. If it carried over to the next abdication, I'd hold on to it, but I don't think it does, right? It does carry over? Okay. Spend it then. Yeah, this wait period is just like... I guess you get around it in the future with Amber Shop upgrades. That's the only way it would make sense if you keep any leftover gold through abdication, because yeah, you'd be fucked otherwise. I think this game is desperately in need of a game feel quality of life pass. Like, the basic idea is fine, but you really need to like think about the numbers a little bit more. The time it takes to spin up a new, if you're going to make it so focused on New Game Plus, if you're going to be like, this is a idle game where you abdicate within the first 5 minutes, and like that's like your whole pitch, that's fine, but then you got to get those numbers to feel really good, right? Like, I feel like the duration you have to wait to build your first farm is just long enough to be annoying if you're playing it attentively, but also it should just be shorter, is the point, right? Like, it's in this like perfect Goldilocks zone of suck. If it was like 10 times longer, then you'd be like, okay, well, I'm supposed to like set this up and then walk away for an hour and come back. But it's like, no, just sit here and stare at the screen for like 10 minutes. Or be playing a bunch of other games at the same time or something and miss it by several thousand wheat, right? I guess I need 6,000, that's right. I think it should probably start with a single worker. I don't think that would be overkill to do. Just do this in like dream of your chronicle, dream of all the monster research I'm gonna have when I come back to your chronicle, all of the habit progress I'll have developed, all of the seeds and pelts and leathers that I can use to increase my max inventory space. That was nice. Still need to wait for 6,000 wheat, Jesus. Get gold for abdication without restarting the game, huh? Okay. This, I feel like among idle games, this one should be studied. Because I think it's like, it's almost precision designed to be frustrating. Like, this is like an Andy Kaufman, like, be a frustrating idle game project that it's doing a great job of that. I feel like it's, everything about it is like precision designed to be a little annoying. I think one of the big problems I feel like someone's posted like a video essay that was talking about this, or maybe it was an article, but it was describing how like the worst thing that could possibly happen in a puzzle game is when you're looking at the puzzle and you know what solution you want to try, right? But then there's like significant friction between you knowing what you want to try and implementing the solution to test if it worked or not. I was talking about this like really bad puzzle game where there was this like it would take like 20 minutes to test a solution, right? This game has that where it's like I already know, I already in my mind's eye can picture exactly what it's going to require to get back to where I was before when I had the temple up and was able to start doing rituals and tap out so I can let it AFK until I have enough faith to pay for the Pantheon and then pay for the heritage. And it's like I've already seen that, and now I just have to see it again. Like, at least most idle games will recontextualize it on a restart, right? Like, oh, that part's going to be like, 150 times faster this time. So you're going to get right back to where you were after a few minutes, and you'll pick up from where you left off. Yeah, I wish it worked better. I feel like the idea of adding more and more tiles over time is cool. The math needs to be recalibrated on this. The math needs to be recalibrated on everything. It definitely has that essence of like, yeah, whatever the fuck. It's, I don't know, 620 wheat for logger. I feel like this would be way more interesting if it didn't cost resources to clear tiles, right? Because then you'd build it like you would have different strategies as you get more tiles. Your next run, you would build all wheat fields, right? Until you have enough wheat to be set up, and then you would just start clearing fields and replace them with other things. You can say, yeah, I lose all the workers in the process. I lose whatever resources I spent on that. But then I think that simple change fixes the whole game for me. If that doesn't cost amber, and you can just clear fields whenever you like, and the implicit cost of clearing a field is that anything you invested in workers in that field gets destroyed, then you just, every time you get a new tile, it's this cool big exponential effect on all of your future runs, because at the beginning, all you need is wheat, so you build 8 wheat fields, right? You pump them all up while they're all cheap, and then as soon as you have enough to build a forest camp, you destroy one of the wheat fields and replace it with a forest camp. I wonder if, like, the dev is envisioning you doing that and, like, spending real money on amber to activate that playstyle. I've never played a idle game before other than Adventure Capitalist, where it's like this game feels built around getting me to spend money on it. But I hate that about games like Adventure Capitalist, because it's like the whole fucking point of the game is that I don't have some kind of shortcut to it, right? Like, adding a shortcut is like baffling. Like, why would you do that? Like, who would enjoy that? I think part of it is like, I think all these devs have a option to do this, because if they don't put an option to do this, it's just like money that they're leaving on the table. It's like that that iPhone app, the I am rich button. There's just like a red button that said I am rich that was listed on the App Store for $999, and it's like you have to put that shit on the App Store because someone will buy it. And I think any video game with microtransactions has the equivalent of a I am rich button that they sell in their shop, some ridiculous thing that they know some crazy whale is just going to spend thousands of dollars on. So I don't begrudge indie devs for throwing something like this in there, because maybe someone just wants to kick them some money because they like the developer or whatever, right? Whatever, that's fine. But this is one of the first games I played where it feels like it's actually balanced around this, which feels terrible. Later mechanics could just introduce the cost for clearing the field, right? Like, as soon as it doesn't matter at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, all it represents is, like, wasting time. Like, I think part of the fundamental magic of an idle game is that it's, like, obviously a waste of time. Every idle game, you look at it, and within 2 seconds, you're like, why the fuck would I click that cookie? Are you kidding? And then they find a way to, like, continually produce new illusions that make you feel like you're doing something that isn't incredibly fucking stupid. And that's what rules about the genre. So it's a genre that's all about constantly casting illusion spells, right? That's what makes cookie clickers so good, is it's constantly like, okay, well, now there's like a stock market. And you're like, well, that's dumb, but that's cool at least. It gave me a little spark in my brain. Whereas this game seems to be just number go up. And that, I don't know, alone that doesn't do it for me. I feel like you could add a later mechanic that just says, once this building is built, like, that's great, now this building is built, but now anytime you clear a field, it costs amber, right? And then that fixes it up until the point you get that problematic building that you're talking about. I feel like more idle devs need to be thinking about the holistic experience of playing their game. They can't just be like, oh man, once you've sunk 50 hours into it, then the game's really good. Like, no, like games have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So the thing that's been driving me kind of crazy about that idling to rule the gods game you put on is that it definitely feels like it is designed for it to make sense in like 100 hours or something, or however many hours if you're loading it idle for a few days. And the dev doesn't seem interested in like the onboarding part, like that act 1 phase of like, this is what the game is like at the beginning before you get all these upgrades. The dev's like, I don't give a shit about that. That's not most of my player base. That's not me. I'm not playing that part of the game, right? I'm on rebirth number 720 or whatever, right? And I want to make sure that that's interesting. It's kind of my same frustration with games like Path of Exile, right? Where like Path of Exile is increasingly developed for the ultra hardcore Path of Exile superfan who's played every season for the last 5 years, right? And there's this kind of lack of interest on the part of the devs and on the part of the player base to ever like say, what if someone wants to try Path of Exile for the first time? Like, what is their experience going to look like? And then like run that test and be like, wow, this is a horror show. Like a new player's experience with this game is a fucking living nightmare. Act 1, the equivalent of if a game is a 3-act structure of the beginning, middle, and end, the beginning Act 1 is terrible. We should like work on that. And it's just there's this subset of games that is just like who gives a fuck, right? This is a mastery game. This is for people who are in Act 3. And we know that there are going to be some people who come onto our game who are Act 3 gamers that only care about like the phase of play where they're like they have extreme mastery over the subject material. So given that we know we can select for a player base who's going to get to that level, we don't need to improve the beginning experience in the slightest. I've gotten that experience with a couple other genres too. I think I complained about that with Factorio when I played it, and I love Factorio now. I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm an Act 3 Factorio player. I'm still pretty bad at it, but I played it enough that I really enjoyed it, and it's one of the few games that after finishing it, I immediately like off stream restarted it and played it again. And that's happened for like Dark Souls, and that's pretty much it, right? But I did kind of get the sense that Factorio and a lot of factory games kind of build toward that. Quarry now. Okay. Build toward that enthusiast audience who wants to be a master of the content, right? And they're like, well, we don't really need to make the beginning terribly friendly to new players because our target audience is going to get over it, right? They're going to Google it. They're going to go on the wiki. They're going to figure this shit out. We don't need to reduce the friction for that player at all. And I guess I'm especially irritated by that as a person who only plays games blind and then only plays them once. And then once I get to credits, I never play them again. So I am like the opposite of a mastery player in that sense. Like I only sight read the game and I only get to enjoy it when I know the least about it, right? And so, of course, I would be annoyed by a game that's like not interested in bringing me up to speed personally. But I don't know. I see it as like a rising tide lifts all ships thing, right? Like if you make the new player experience better, you will make the game better for everybody. It's not just for me. It's also for me. I'm saying it for selfish reasons, but I don't think it hurts you to do that in the way it might hurt you to exclusively focus on the Act 3 player base. That's hilarious, Ravanon. That's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, I need 5,000 stone. Just gonna take a little while. I guess maybe you could argue that I'm trying to like see it from the other perspective, right? Because I feel this so strongly that like designing games this way is a tragedy and shouldn't be done. I guess maybe you could argue that the developer pays some opportunity cost themselves when they decide to focus on the new player experience and they try to focus on onboarding and the Act 1 period, right? That any time they spend on doing that is time not spent building ridiculous, crazy Path of Exile endgame nonsense, right? So if you have a fan base who's really into the ridiculous endgame nonsense, and you spend too much time building for a player like me, then maybe that end game is less exciting and has less depth for those crazy players. But I guess a lot of the stuff that frustrates me doesn't feel like it should be a. It feels like the time investment needed to improve my experience is pretty small compared to the benefit. Like it would cost you 1 unit of effort to make the beginning of this game better. You know, it would cost you, let's call it 100 hours of work. And the amount of value it would produce for me would be much higher than the value you would produce in all of the players if you instead spent that 100 hours adding some ridiculous endgame thing. You know what I mean? I would get like 500 times the benefit as that endgame player would get from you spending your time on that instead. It always just feels like super short-sighted to me. I'll wait for 5,000 stone. And then once I have the temple, I can click off this game. I'm probably not even gonna get back to this game in time. I'm probably gonna like loop back around and get to Your Chronicle and just play Your Chronicle for the rest of the time. So this is only gonna matter for the next stream at this point, I think, but... Do you think that's true? I struggle to believe that most idle gamers are in it for number goes up and that's it, right? Like you got it. Do you think most idle gamers like Adventure Capitalist? I imagine that there are a variety of things that might motivate a person to enjoy an idle game, and I'm sure that the number going up is for certain part of it. But like, it seems obvious that like there's a point like when you play Cookie Clicker and you've unlocked all the upgrades, you don't want to keep playing Cookie Clicker. Like, and it's not because the number isn't going up enough anymore, right? It's because you're not seeing anything new anymore. It's the seeing something new part is the part that's got to be driving most people's enjoyment, right? Am I crazy? Like, I'm trying to picture a person who's playing an idle game and they've tapped out all the new content and they just like log into the game every day just to watch the number keep going up. Like, just to watch the number go up. So I guess like if that's your way of seeing things and like the benefit of a new upgrade isn't that it's new or it transforms the game in some way, it's that it makes the number go up more. Number go up more is more better. They would be satisfied if the only new thing was double my production. That's fucking crazy to me. I believe you that that's true, but that's like grim. That might be what I was joking about earlier, that it's like, you know, Progress Quest and Cookie Clicker come out and it's like, isn't this a great satire of like the RPG or the modern video game or whatever? And then people are like, well, no, I actually want that though. And it's like, okay, now it's a genre. Now we can do stuff with it and we can tell different kinds of stories and provoke different kind of player experiences, right? Like Melvor Idol is one of the best games I've ever played. I think it's got a lot of really incredible, smart gameplay ideas. But to me, like what it's doing, what's so genius about a game like Melvor Idol is that it's constantly casting those illusion spells. It's constantly saying, yes, the number's going up, but also here's this new thing that's going to hide the fact that all that's really happening is this number is getting bigger over time, right? Like, oh, now you've got more bank space. Like, yes, that's a different number that went up, but that's like your bank space going up feels different than a skill level increasing, right? Or your experience points going up or your stash of leather increasing, right? Because it has other knock-on transformative effects to the other thing that can fool your brain for another couple hours. Like, all of these games, like, I think that the kind of fundamental thing that an idle game is doing is it's courting what I've called the willing suspension of nihilism, right? I would pull it up on the screen if I could get it easily, but look up Google Calvin and Hobbes nailing in the table, right? Calvin is nailing nails in the table and his mom runs in and says, Calvin, what the fuck are you doing? And he just like looks at the table and has this like bubble pop above his head and he's like, is that a trick question? Like, every video game has a bubble pop moment like that, has the Calvin nailing the table. It always will happen no matter what game you play. And like, to me, what the idle genre is about like flirting with that, right? It's, let me give you something where that bubble should pop the instant you hit start game. Within like 3 seconds of cookie clicker, you should be like, what am I doing? And stop right away. But then they keep finding interesting ways to keep it from popping. You know what I mean? To delay the willful suspension of nihilism. I'm gonna be on my bubble pop for this game in the middle of the last run. When I realized I had to spend unreclaimable resource to clear a tile, and I did anyway. And I'm like, but maybe, you know, maybe there's gonna be some like crazy transformative thing. And then we got the temples, and the rituals were cool. And like, I really like the idea of this will cause a pantheon effect to be in effect on your next reincarnation or whatever. But like, that shit needs to happen 40 minutes sooner, man. There can't be this much time, I don't think. Need to make every idle game developer play Territory Idle. Okay, so at this point, we let it go. I don't know that I guess we can do wheat production to try to pump monks, I guess. Is the idea with +1 monk every 15 seconds during the ritual that, like, this is really good once the cost to hire a monk gets very high? And then because... That's the only benefit, right? Is like, you want to do this towards the end of the run to get lots of monks after you've bought tons of them already. I feel like of these, all I really want is ×5 wheat production. Oh, and I need 100 faith, that's right. This is the third monitor game while second monitoring RuneScape. Fair. But we probably just want a second temple, because I don't really care about production at this point. I just want to have so much faith that I can pick a cool pantheon to carry over into the next respawn, I think is the idea. So I might do the thing that boosts stone production so I can get the second temple up and running. I guess this school is doable, but like all it does is enhance the other buildings, right? So that's not really helping me with the next run at all. Let's do stone production and wheat production. Oh, right. Just do stone, so it doesn't cost so much. So if it's count of rituals, it feels like you actually don't want to spend too much faith on running multiple rituals at the same time, unless if you absolutely have to. Should have done that first, but whatever, it's fine. Get my second temple, I'll dump what I can to try to get as many monks in it as I can, and then I'll tab out. And what's probably going to happen is I'll spend a few minutes on Realm Grinder and be like, oh, I need to abdicate, I should have abdicated before. And then probably spend the rest of the time on Your Chronicle, because Your Chronicle is fucking awesome. Your Chronicle and this game is like nuclear bomb versus coughing baby. It's like one of the best examples I've ever seen of that in a single stream. Like, that game is so good. It's really, really, really smart. Let's wait, I guess. Because we want to have both temples, right? Because it affects... It's +1 monk in every temple per 15 seconds. Is that true? I can't believe all of that was just for one extra tile. It feels bad, man. One extra tile and enough gold to pay for the restart thing. This game probably works better once you are... If you just read the wiki first before you start playing it, and then you're like, oh, okay, I should make sure I have enough gold to pay for the, keep your Pantheon thing. This now costs 1,000. So the benefit of the +1 monk, I'll probably be able to get that. And then tab off. Oops. Then we want... What was the cost for religion to unlock? It was pretty substantial, right? It was like a... Need to have a gold base or something, or a certain amount of stone on you? 1 million faith, okay. Now costs 1,700, okay. Although I guess the idea is that if it's every 15 seconds, you want to try to get this up to 45 seconds so that you get a third proc on it. But that's pretty expensive in terms of the ritual cost. Maybe we don't do that. It feels bad too, because like when you do the thing where you carry over the Pantheon bonus, you're not getting the bonus for rituals anymore. See, like, is +2 monks better than ×5 wheat production, though? Because, like, ×5 wheat production is 10,000 wheat per second for 35 seconds. It's actually 8,000. 280,000. I guess it is better at this point, but, like, calculating that is annoying. Probably should have been doing farms this whole time and then use the resulting wheat to pump this other stuff up. Yeah, here, this is where if this didn't cost me amber, I would be like, okay, well, I don't need stone or forest camps anymore, so let me turn these either into more... Let me bank enough stone and wood to build 2 more temples, right? Or turn them into wheat fields so I can keep hiring monks. Either would be fine if clearing it didn't cost me something. It's rare that I encounter a load-bearing fault of the game where it's like if you just fix this one thing, the rest of it would make sense. But I think clearing the fields being free would be huge. It would fix almost everything, or at least like greatly reduce the friction. Let's get this 13th monk, and then I'll pay for the ritual until I run out of faith, and then we'll tab out. Spent 44 minutes on this. Holy shit, this is a video game. Yeah, I totally agree, Tyrannin. Like, that's already a substantial cost, right? If I dump, you know, the quarry, like, how much... What does it cost to get a single mason right now? 100,000 wheat? I've spent a lot of wheat on that thing. Yeah, even if it was extortionate, totally agree. Like the amber, like it would be nice if you could get a slightly cheaper permanent amber upgrade, right? Like the first one you can afford is pretty far into the game. 3,700. Okay, it's probably gonna be our last one we can afford here. I feel like that's probably the best ritual. Instead of doing the wheat one. I just want to see what the next one's going to cost. And I want to review the pantheons before I tab out here. 5,000. Okay. Pantheon of Fat Chicken seems really good. Hand washing seems really good for that specific one because that's +4 monks on every temple. +3 to rituals automation. I guess I don't know what that means. Customize the auto hiring ritual without a special relic. That's annoying as fuck. That's basically priority auto casting from Realm Grinder, but like with a ridiculous opportunity cost. Double schools effect. Doubles experience gained by heroes for nowhere near. Okay, so it's just Pantheon of the Fat Chickens, right? Like anything else is kind of stupid. Masons every time you do a ritual. But it's only a ×2 effect. Oh, that blows, man. Faith from a monk for each forest. Yeah. That requires the otherwise useless forest camp, though. I guess I have to figure, like, what am I doing next, right? Next, I'm building probably a school, but a school only benefits all the other buildings. I guess the academy is the next interesting thing at 10 million stone, but that's, like, so fucking far away. So it's like you need to abdicate with enough money to get the tiles. The tile cost needs to come way down. Like, it's ridiculous, I think. All right, let's do this last ritual and then we can tap out. Should have been spending the wheat this whole time, but it's fine. So if you had 2 forests, each monk is worth 4 faith. All of these would be better if I could clear fields for free. This would even be interesting if I could just like wipe all the fields and like get a perfect balance of temples and forests. Then this would make perfect sense to take. It would actually be like kind of a cool thing to use in the next abdication, but I can't do that. Maybe I should just like assume that the only purpose of Amber is to clear fields and pretend like these permanent upgrades don't exist. Just would be nice to have something permanent. All right, we're going to switch games.